Hello and welcome to the kitchen and to part one of the ICPUs that we got on the 16th of, nope, we actually got them on the 14th of December, but I showed them to you on the 16th of December. These are from the Orchid Supply Store. Ken is a sponsor here on our channel. The media that I am going to use is, let me see if I can do this without messing it up. It is a combination of small, medium, and large Orchiata bark. There's fir bark in there. There's some large perlite, small perlite. I did mix in some medium and large Orchiata bark to an already mix that I had made previously that was a little bit left over, so I just filled it in. And the pots that I'm using are also from Orchid Supply Store. We have small, solid, clear, and then we have the slotted, and I love the cones in these, as well as, let's see, I do. And then also we have the kind of opaque slotted pots. So he's got pretty much anything that you might want for orchids, houseplants. He has some garden things, some bird feeders. Those bird feeders are so cute. And they're not really bird feeders, guys. They're more like bird houses where the birds can go in and make their little nests in the spring. So I'm excited to put the ones I have out this year and see if anybody uses them. If you hear some pitter pattering, that's the pups around. We had a new apartment complex catch on fire yesterday, and so there is a lot of traffic down our street that is being diverted. So you may hear some barking, and if you hear some barking, I'll edit that part out. If I can't, I apologize ahead of time. But let's start with these ladies. Oh, Orchid Supply Store, I almost forgot to tell you guys. If you go and type in TRISH at the coupon gift certificate area, you get a 12% discount, free shipping. It doesn't matter if you buy 1 item, 100 items. A lot of websites offer free shipping with a minimum. Ken does not. Anywho, so we're going to do these 3 that are in this bowl. And then this one back here is the one I'm going to do last today, because that one is the one that had lots of mealybugs on there, and I did not see them until I went to clean her up. I did take the liberty of cleaning majority of the roots off. I do have my fiskars just in case there's a straggler here and there. The rest of them, when I cleaned them off, I didn't see any bugs on them. The only one that really was showing signs of mealybugs was this one back here. And when we get to her, I'll kind of show you where they were and what I did. Let me move this out of the way over here, see if I can do this. And I'm just going to pull them from the front and kind of show you what we got. And this one, the more I'm looking at it, the more I do see sorry, shiny object, guys. Saw a root that I did not get off, so let's just take that off while it's on my mind. But the more I'm looking at this one, the more I'm really wanting to take this bottom leaf off. It's been cold damaged. It's already senescing it. And there are quite the root nubbins up under here. And as you can see, she doesn't really have the best of root systems. I mean, it's not too bad, but it is not the best. And I think I'm going to go ahead and cut this one off as well, because it's pretty much dead from here to here. And there is some viableness here. But let's go ahead and just clip that one off as well. And yes, I have my cafefe over here because I feel like I need it today. And I did soak them after the Saturday video in some CalMag and seaweed, about 150 parts per million combined. I don't know how much one of the other. I didn't do that part. I just kind of and then got it to 150. And then I have been soaking them for the last about 30 minutes. I let them dry out overnight, and then the last 30 minutes they've been soaking in the same solution. I just kept it and used it again instead of wasting product and making a new one. So let's see. Take this leaf off real quick. I say real quick. It's kind of a fresh leaf, so it's kind of harder to get off than when they're already kind of senesced and softer. This one's quite the firm. And I like to make sure I get as much of the leaf off as possible. I don't want to leave any of it behind if I can. Sometimes you don't have the choice, and I have a little spot there where I don't have that choice because I don't want to mess up the poor looking root that's in that area. But I do see, there we go. So if you look right around there, there's just a little piece of that leaf left, and I'm going to leave it on there. Take off some of this sheathing and this dry root right here that is now exposed. Maybe that'll encourage it to come on down, give some more roots. It looks like, yeah. So I did cut right here because it looks like she's trying to spike, but if that continues, I will keep it from a blooming because I do want her to, I'm just making sure I got all of the moss and everything from out between, and then there is a little bit of suspicious stuff going on down there, and I'm just going to take my brush that's got some alcohol on it, and we're just going to wipe just in case. Looks like I need some more alcohol. Got my little alcohol bottle here. However, how is everyone doing today? I can't speak, but the fire that I was telling you about earlier was built for one of the hospital's employees, because a lot of those employees are traveling nurses, or they live an hour or so from the hospital because of the price of living here in Denver. They just can't afford it, so they've moved further out, and it takes them a while, so they were building that for them. Well, the fire started, I want to say, around 2 o'clock on the 16th, which was Saturday. And it is today, Sunday the 17th, and they are still working on putting it out. They've got it contained, but it's not quite out yet. And the worrying thing is there are several other apartment complexes in the area in addition to 4 major hospitals. So Colorado Children's Hospital, Anschutz, all that is literally across the street. So they've got that whole street blocked off, all the little major intersection, and a lot of that traffic is being diverted down our street. I am stalling because I'm not sure what I want to do. Okay, she's got a few decent roots. Cut that piece off now. And sometimes, guys, I like to cut off most of them soak, and then after I've soaked it, then I will cut off like this part right here. This way the root opening doesn't get just a flush impossible rotting in it. I don't know if that's a thing. I've just always kind of been cautious of that. So that is why I'm still kind of cutting at roots. All right, that's all we're going to do. I'm going to stop being so pedantic. And what size should we put this one in? Let's see. Take that off of there. Get as much of this junky junk off. You know what? I think we'll put her in one of our holy pots here with this nice cone. So I'm just going to put a little bit of bark at the bottom, and there's a little bit of moss pieces in here as well. Like I said, it's from a previous mix, so there's a few little moss pieces, not enough to really make a difference. It's not going to keep it more damp or anything. So put a little fungi at the bottom and move that out there. And then let's see, because initially I was going to pot these up dry root, but then I thought if I have to twist them, the wet roots are more pliable and more forgiving, and probably will be easier without all the cracking. There, let's see. I'm not going to be too pedantic on how they sit in the pot. Yes, I'd like them in the center in a certain way, but at this point, I just want to get them potted up, kind of started onto the road of recovery. All right, so let me fill this up, and I'll fast forward over this. You guys have seen this before, and then when I get to the next one, we'll see what that one's doing, okay? Be right back. All right, so there's that one. I did leave kind of a little bit lower just so that as she grows, I'm being confident here, as she grows, she pushes herself out of the pot, I can just fill in around her. We'll just move her over here to the side for the moment. And then next we have, make sure these roots aren't all entangled, this one, which has a fairly decent root system, as you can see. Nice green, pretty healthy looking roots. She does have this ginormous stem that initially I was going to cut, but I've decided I'm just going to leave it alone for now, and then next time I repot her, then we will, let me rinse my hands, we will cut that stem off of there. But for now, the less trauma, the better. There we go. So, like I said, her roots look fairly decent. They're all nice and green. Some of them have nice brown roots. So for her, should we put her in this one, which still has some bark mix in there, or this one, which is from one of our previous ICPUs in September that did not make it. Let's see if we can get her into this one that doesn't have the slots, just the clear plastic. Let's see. I think she'll do fine in there like that. Oh, and she's got this beautiful aerial root right here. Can you see it? Isn't that gorgeous aerial root? So I think she'll fit in there like that. This one right here that's all wanky is the one that's kind of causing the problems on how I want her to sit. Well, she's going to have to sit way, look at this, way off center. But we'll try her in here too and see if we have better success in trying to get her more centered. At least semi-centered maybe? Let's see. See if we can get her semi-centered. Yep, that's what we're going to do. She sits a little bit better, which means that shelf space wise, it'll work a little bit better. Now this is one that did have the damage to the leaf, so I went ahead and just cut along where the damage was, put a little bit of cinnamon to kind of seal it off. And again, didn't see any issues on this one. Just double checking before we get her into the pot. Make sure we don't need to put some more alcohol. I did do alcohol on the leaves and used my brush with alcohol in between the leaves just as a precaution. I didn't see anything, but since she did travel with the one that was full of mealybugs, I decided to go ahead and do that. So let me take the rest of the sheathing off that I missed yesterday. The less decay, the better. All right, a little bit, same process. And again, after I get her potted up, we'll move on to the next one. So once again, we'll be back. And there she is. A little bit more right here. Now, this portion right here does look a little deep into the pot, but she is going to end up losing this leaf shortly because it did have, let's see if we can get the shadow out of the way. It does have some cold damage on it, so I do expect this one to kind of go away in the next few weeks. And then this way, once I take this leaf off, any new roots or anything, she's still kind of in the pot. We'll set her to the side. And then this one is one that did have, let's put the bowl in the sink now, did have a spike attached to it that got cut. Let me just double check these roots. Yep, I do see one. And this is the one that also has the name with the brick, just slinging stuff around, and with puppies running around, I can't just ignore it on the floor, so had to pick that up. Not a bad root system, if I do say so. And again, this one had the cold damage with a beautiful leaf that had I taken it all the way out and really taken care of her, she probably wouldn't have had that. My fault. But this is the golden brick. I'm tempted to look this one up, guys. I might. If I do, I'll post a picture of what I find. If there is no picture, that means that I maintained and did not go look her up. That name just is such an interesting name, don't you think? Now, she's definitely going to go in here, okay? Just because it does have height to it, she is a little bit top heavy. She does have that spike that I can stake her if need be. And I probably have too much media just because her roots are a little more established. They're not the greatest, but at least to me, they're the best so far that we've seen in this bunch. All right, and let's just see how she looks in here before we get that fast forward going. Oh yeah, look at that. She's gonna look gorgeous in there. Well, maybe if I don't bring her up so high. All right, so we will be right back. Okay, what I'm doing is she's a little loose back here, so I'm just making sure that that media is all nice and tight up underneath her. She was kind of looked like she was wiggling a little bit. And I am going to stake her, but I'm going to just to give her that additional support. I mean, she has a stake, let's use it. But there's that one, our golden brick. I think she's going to do fine. I think she's going to be fine. But you know what? I've said that before. And of course, the lovely ladies have proven me wrong. Now, let me grab a paper towel. Kind of clean my mess up a little bit. Save some of this. Now we're going to do the one that really did show some serious signs of mealybugs. So what we have here, yes, this one here. So by the time I got done cleaning her roots, this is all she has left. I did cut the leaf and all down into the center of this leaf. That's why it's kind of split. There were mealybugs. She was infested in all of the cracks and crevices. So I believe that's why this leaf was looking the way it was. I don't think it had anything to do with the cold damage. But the good news is I don't see any more this morning. I did give her a precautionary wipe off and brush through with the alcohol when I got up. But I don't see any more at the moment. 1 second, I might have lied. No. And I'm tempted to just take this rest of this leaf and cut it off. But at the same time, I want to leave it on there. So for now, she's going to stay on there. I don't see any rot happening in there. I'm going to kind of do a little close up. If anybody sees any rot going on, you let me know and we're going to take it right on out of there. Yeah, we are. But all down in there was mealybugs. So this is the one that he probably was talking about that he saw the mealybugs on. So far, I don't see any other things wrong. And this one has the 2 spikes. Again, I'm going to leave the spikes on there so that she can absorb them. I am going to put it in this teeny tiny pot right here. I know she's going to look a little ridiculous with this size and this size pot, but she doesn't have that much to go with. And if she doesn't make it, well, I haven't wasted too much media because with her having had such a bad infestation, if she does go back down any media that she was in, I will end up discarding. Normally, I like to reuse my media for the orchids that don't quite make it if it's still usable. But if I know that there is a pest or any kind of issue with the plant, then I don't reuse the media. Just as a precaution. So now this one, and I will be staking her as well, simply because she is going to be up a little bit higher. I'm not going to like push her way down. So matter of fact, let me go ahead and go get those stakes real quick, along with my clips. Hopefully my mic did not disconnect. Let me grab the clips first. Just get this one. We'll just get 2 green ones. And then since I've done rearranging for Christmas, all my stuff's not where I'm used to it being. And creature of habit that I am, went right straight to where it was in the old spot. So I got 2 clips and 2 bamboos. There we go. Whoa, that would not have been cute. So we're going to start putting media in, and then seeing as she doesn't really have a lot of roots, I don't really have to worry about stabbing any of them when I do stake her, which is usually a concern with me. When I stake, I don't like stabbing my roots. Sometimes it does happen. And I am going to push her back a little bit just so I can kind of use the pot to help with the staking. All right, so there's most of it in there. Now what I'm going to do is take this stake and line it up here and take my little bamboo clip, which you can get these at the Orchid Supply Store as well, guys. And these are precious. And I like to put my clip claws against the bamboo skewer, not against the spike. Everyone has their own little way of doing it and preferences. And if I ever find a bamboo skewer that has this flat, I don't know if you can kind of see, it's kind of got a flat spot. That's what I like to put up against whatever I'm staking. There we go. Maybe. And this one is also bent, so it's not quite as straight as I'd like it to be. There we go. All right, now we'll take this one, which is another green one. I just lucked out and got 2 of the same color. I did not do that part on purpose. And see, now she's in there nice and snug. So I'll finish filling her up, and then we will look at the 4 of them, and I'll give you my thoughts on what's going to happen. All right, so on this one too, I am going to leave the base fairly exposed. I don't know if you can see that with the shadowing, but I am going to leave the base fairly exposed because there is a little bit of blackening going on down there, and I don't want it to rot. So I'm leaving that exposed all the way around. And I did take a piece of bark and put it up underneath this spike because that spike was kind of crooked, just to kind of help maintain her steadiness. And let's see, so there's that one, and this one will definitely be kept away from everyone. Like, she's just going to have to be living La Vida Loca somewhere else. And then we have this beauty, and this beauty. So I'm pretty sure, I'm confident that all of these are going to be okay. As far as root systems go, I think this one's just going to keep maintaining and just go ahead and take off. I'm not watering them again until tomorrow because they did just get that lovely soak. And then when I do water them, it'll just be with some plain filtered water with pH of about 6.5 with nothing in it for about the next 2 to 3 weeks. And then probably in March, I'll add the slow release fertilizer once I see what they're doing. Again, not trying to be wasteful and not trying to be negative, but if they don't make it, I don't want to waste my slow release fertilizer. I know, selfish, right? Well, guys, let me know what you think these ladies are going to do, and I will see you in part 2 when we do the other 4.